David Goggins didn't grow up in a home. He grew up in a war zone. His father ran a small bowling alley. From the outside, it looked normal. Inside, it was hell. Beatings weren't punishment, they were routine. For the smallest mistakes, for no reason at all. Fear wasn't an emotion, it was the air he breathed. Every day, David watched his mother suffer. Every night, he waited for footsteps. And every morning, he woke up already tired, already broken. He learned early that life wasn't fair and no one was coming to save him. Eventually, his mother made a decision that would change everything. They ran. No plan, no money, just survival. But escape didn't mean peace. David carried the trauma with him. Stuttering, low confidence, constant anxiety. School became another battlefield. Bullied, labeled slow, told he would never be anything. And slowly, that voice became his own. He wasn't just scared of his father anymore, he was scared of himself. This wasn't the start of a success story. This was the beginning of a broken mindset, and it would follow him for years.
David Goggins didn't escape his past, he just carried it forward. By his mid-20s, the fear was still there, the self-doubt was louder than ever. But now it had a new form. He was overweight, unhealthy, barely moving. He worked as an exterminator, long hours, hot days, crawling through dirty spaces. Every night he came home exhausted, not from effort, but from disappointment. He avoided mirrors, avoided people, avoided thinking. Food became comfort, sleep became escape. Days blurred together. At his heaviest, he weighed nearly 300 pounds. His body felt heavy, but his mind felt worse. Then, one night, everything snapped. He was watching TV, flipping channels, half asleep, when he saw something that changed his life. A documentary about Navy SEALs. Men running through pain, cold, exhaustion, failure, and still moving forward. Something inside him broke, or maybe woke up. He looked at the screen, then he looked at himself, and for the first time, he didn't feel anger, he felt disgust, not at the world, not at his past, at who he had become. That night, he stood in front of a mirror, sweating, out of breath, ashamed. And he said something simple but dangerous, "This is not me." That wasn't motivation, that was desperation, and desperation was about to push him into the hardest path imaginable.
David made a decision most people only talk about. He would become a Navy SEAL. There was just one problem. He weighed nearly 300 pounds. To even qualify for training, he had to lose over 100 pounds. No shortcuts, no trainer, no audience, just him. He began running, not because he loved it, but because he hated who he was becoming. The first runs were brutal, shin splints, blisters, breathing like his lungs were collapsing. But he didn't stop. He ran in the rain, he ran at night, he ran when his body screamed. In 3 months, he lost over 100 pounds, but that was just the entry ticket. Then came BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training, the hardest military training in the world. Men quit daily. Sleep deprivation, cold ocean water, hours of punishment, and then Hell Week. 5.5 days, almost no sleep, constant movement, carrying boats over their heads, bodies breaking down. David's body failed him. Stress fractures, pneumonia, medical rollbacks. Most people would have taken that as a sign. He took it as a challenge. He went back, again and again. 3 times he attempted. 3 times he refused to stay down. Because this time, he wasn't running from fear, he was chasing it. And somewhere in that pain, the weak version of him finally died. Not because it disappeared, but because he learned how to control it. Most people thought the hard part was over. He made it through training. He became what he once believed was impossible. But for David, that was never the finish line. It was the beginning. Because he realized something during Hell Week.
Pain wasn't his enemy. It was his teacher. So he went looking for more of it. Ultramarathons, 100-mile races, running through deserts where the heat felt unbearable, running through nights where his vision blurred, running when his legs cramped so badly he could barely stand. In one race, his body began shutting down, kidneys struggling, feet broken down, blood in his shoes. Doctors told him to stop. Logic told him to stop, but he had already met the voice that wanted him to quit, and he no longer listened to it. He wasn't trying to win. He wasn't chasing medals. He was chasing the limit. Every mile was a conversation between his body and his mind, and every time his body said, "This is enough," his mind answered, "No, there's more." That's when he built what he calls a calloused mind.